Chapter 1, World Bridge. Author's note: if you don't like info dumps, skip the first 1.5 chapters. Love. There was a single inhabitable planet called Argos, revolving around the humongous sun with dozens of gaseous planets filling the stellar system. The planet flourished until the intelligent bipedal race which called themselves humans entered the big picture. This intelligent race was able to socialize, gathered up to survive, and advance with the help of each other. Over hundreds of years, humanity was able to generate energy to mechanize, automize machines, and prospered. Humanity's history was short compared to the history of the whole planet, but they used up more limited natural resources than any other race ever did before. Argos was humongous, but the population of the human race broke through the 3-digit billions as if it was nothing, and humanity's living space reached its limits with its construction abilities after an additional 100 years. They had to leave the solar system to find new planets to continue their growth and advancement, but it was easier said than done as the speed of light and theories weren't easy to achieve, which was one essential requirement to leave the solar system to explore new solar systems. Many humans even prayed to whoever god they wanted to, that something would change and they would make a breakthrough in space traveling. Years passed and a sudden meteor shower shocked humanity to the bones as the furthest planet on the same stellar system was pierced by them, shattering into millions of pieces without any efforts. The meteor shower's appearance and disappearance happened in an extremely short span of time, but the most important known fact was that the meteor shower came from outside the solar system without anyone noticing it. One could say humanity's prayers were answered as scientists picked up a few remains of the meteorites, which were made out of an unknown material and never seen before. The meteors radiated cold but tranquil energy, causing the tent surrounding to release their tension subconsciously. This energy was much more powerful than any energy ever invented by humanity, and it was even stronger than nature's laws as it made the meteorite float slightly in the air. Researching the meteorite, many things were found out. For example, the radiating energy from the meteorites could accelerate the growing speed of plants and animals around them. The scientists researching the meteorite felt more vigorous, slowly grew stronger, and it even looked like their aging speed decelerated, which made the other humans envious. One day, years after the first research about the meteorite began, cracks began to spread over the meteorite surface without any warning signs, and an unmeasurable amount of the still unknown energy began to condense into a blue shining liquid-like ball that peeled its outer stone skin and ascended into the sky. While most humans around the world were still working, nature felt a sudden fate-changing event and whole wildlife went silent. Only humans at the other side of the planet, far away from the laboratory where the meteorites assembled, didn't feel anything. The blue shining ball with the accumulated mysterious energy continued its ascension until it reached a certain height, where it floated parallel, without moving a single inch. All humans around the laboratory were anxious and horrified because of the unknown. It caused them goosebumps and they imagined dreadful scenarios without being able to do anything at all. Some humans with a weaker will started crying, while others hugged each other trying to find comfort, and others could only stare into the sky with a blank mind, not being able to think straight. The liquid ball seemed to get stronger, as a suction force spread around it while its size decreased over time. Distancing themselves from the suction force that seemed to get stronger over time, mankind could only look high into the sky. The amount of compressed energy inside this tennis ball-sized blue shining ball was huge enough to devastate at least half of the continent, if not the whole planet. Time passed and the scientists suddenly noticed a surprising change within the blue shining ball, causing them to get even more nervous. Luckily, the energy was floating tranquil and stable until it reached the size of a ping-pong ball. The compressed energy was getting more and more unstable after reaching a certain threshold, and it trembled violently, terrifying the surrounding humans. At this moment even the humans on the other side of Argos noticed that something was wrong, and the whole livelihood of the planet tensed up, not being able to move freely. It was as if the planet itself was under a threat by the single little energy ball, as nature was as quiet as never before in its history of billions of years. Space seemed to twist suddenly, and blood-red cobweb-like cracks formed below the energy ball, leading the energy ball to a more stable constitution. The more cracks appeared, the less violently was the energy ball, seemingly getting more stabler, and some humans sighed in relief. Not only did these cracks appear close to the blue shining ball, rather these cracks appeared all around Argos, in the ocean, inside the jungle, underground, even high in the sky, almost everywhere one could think of. Nobody knew exactly what to think about the sudden cracks they could see in the sky, but from the looks of it, there was no way it could have been something good. On one side they felt relieved that the blue shining energy ball didn't explode, while on the other side the red cracks didn't seem to be something one wanted to have on one's planet either. The cracks all over the planet grew in size until they reached a certain magnitude. Some were bigger while others were small in size, but all of them had one particular fact in common. While its frame was blood-red, space inside was pitch black, without letting a single sunray lightening up the interior. It looked like the way to the abyss, and it frightened the living beings around the cracks. Right at this moment, one of the worst scenarios the scientists feared happened in front of them. The seemingly stable energy continued to compress itself, causing it to implode. Devastating amounts of mysterious energy were released, causing the blood-red cracks to shake violently, twisting the space around additionally. Surprisingly, the enormous amount of energy didn't devastate the landscape, rather than that it enveloped the whole planet with its blue shining color before invading every living being and the planet itself until it reached the core. Not a single cell was spared, and the whole planet jolted, creating earthquakes and tsunamis, volcano outbreaks, as it was invaded by the unknown energy. Unknowingly to humanity, Argos' shackles from billions of years ago were released and its core was resurrected. The former pitch-black abyss, like the inside of the blood-red cracks, changed into hundreds of different colorful landscapes. While many of these landscapes looked beautiful with majestic mountains, lively forest, and clean oceans, the sight of other cracks wasn't as joyful and beautiful as mankind thought a moment before. Hideous-looking creatures with razor-sharp teeth, thick scales, massive tails, and bloodthirst in their eyes stepped through a certain crack, while various other dreadful beings entered Argos through the various cracks. Bridges between different worlds appeared, and Argos entered a new dark age of devastation and death.